So we're on video 6, and today we're going to work with how do we pierce and drill through our metal so that we can access our negative space to get it cut out. So in order to drill through the metal, we need a few tools handy. We need an anvil, which ours is here attached to the green desk. We need a block of wood, which is usually found in one of the desk drawers here. We're going to need a hand drill, which is also found with the block of wood in the drawer. And of course we'll need one of these tools here. They're center punch tools. One is spring-loaded, one is not. You'll need one of these two to work with. So inside this blue case, which is usually near my desk, near or in the red toolbox, are drill bits. The drill bits, there are different sizes. I would suggest going with a bigger size if you can fit it in, and if you have tiny little spaces, you'll need a smaller drill bit. To load the drill bit into the drill, we're going to place it into the opening, and then while holding the metal piece here, we're going to turn the drill handle until it's tight. But you do need to make sure you hold here so this isn't spinning. And then I usually test it here, make sure that it's in there tight. If you get a really tiny little drill bit, a really skinny one, you're going to want to make sure very little of it's sticking out, just enough to get through your metal. Because the less that sticks out, the less likely you are to break it. This is a fairly sturdy drill bit, so it should be fine. So my drill's loaded. I'm going to take my two center punches, and I'll show you how they're different. This one simply spring-loaded on my anvil. I'm just going to push down and create a little divot. And what this does is it creates a little home or a little place for the drill bit to actually go into, so that when you start spinning that drill, the drill bit isn't going to skid across your metal. So this one I prefer not to use. It's my least favorite. It is okay for the softer metals like copper and brass, but whenever you're using nickel, you might want to try the good old-fashioned one, which is just a hammer and hitting it. So that way you control the amount of pressure that you're hitting. Also, if you look at this piece, I don't want to drill a hole right in the middle of my negative space. I don't want it right on the line either. I want my hole to be somewhere next to the line so that I'm not having to cut out to that line and I'm not messing up my line. So near the line is where you want your center punch and your drill hole to be. So I put it on my anvil, and I just take this and whack it and create my divot. And you could do all your different pieces. Go ahead and center punch them all. I'm just going to do those two. And then you take the piece of metal onto your wood block, and you've got your drill. For this work, you're also going to want to make sure you wear eye protection, just in case that drill bit breaks. You're protecting your eyes. So you've got your eye protection on, you've got your center punch made, line up the drill into the center punch, and just hold it. We're not pushing really hard, I'm just sort of the weight of my hand, and the work is all done by turning the crank and letting the metal get drilled through. So there you go. Voila, I have a hole, and just kind of wiggle it off. So my first hole is made in my metal, and I'm ready to cut out this piece. I would recommend you go ahead and center punch and drill all your pieces at once, so that once you get to the cutting workbench, that you're ready to go and you don't have to come back and re-drill. So that's it for drilling. Make sure you remove the drill bit by holding the collet here and reversing the handle. Just spin it until it comes loose, and make sure it gets put back in its appropriate spot so that we don't lose these little teeny tiny pieces. So all the drill bits in the blue box, put away where they belong. And also make sure that all of the center punch tools get put back where they belong too. So, and again, show you where these go. Inside the drawer here, we're going to put the block of wood and the drill itself, and hopefully shut the door. There we go. Alright, so now we're ready to cut, and we'll watch the next video to show you how to start cutting.